Yo, what's going on? It's GMG Goldmouth Gamer with another episode of NCAA 19 Dynasty Mode. I appreciate you joining in. If you like my videos, please hit the like button, subscribe, and just enjoy the video. Right now we're in week 4. Right now we come in 2-1 with victories over Maryland and Memphis, with the only loss coming to one of the top ranked teams in the country, West Virginia. Doesn't get any easier. We got our next game, week 4, is against Virginia, and our first true road game of the year. So we have to go on the road and try to pick up a victory in the ACC. Um, Virginia's 0-1 currently. Their sole victory, or their sole only loss, well, their only game was against number 13 LSU, and they lost that game by 4. So we got our work cut out for us. And as you could tell, again, it never gets any easier. We faced a good quarterback every week so far, so we got another quarterback to go up against this week. And so far this year, our weakness is the run game, and looks like they have one of the best running backs in the country so far. Um, so he averaged 4.5 yards a carry against LSU. So if they feed him the ball, then I just hope we can come out with the victory. Looks like they run a pro-style offense, and they have good offensive linemen. So the key to a good run game is good offensive linemen, and it looks like they have no shortage of those. Looks like they have one of the better offensive lines in the country. They have one of the better cornerback tandems in the country as well. So we definitely got our work cut out for us. It's going to be a good game. Like I said, the first road game of the year, so it should be exciting. Going to take a look around the country before we get started with this game. Let's see. So to start, we'll take a look at the top 25. Top 25 still is Texas A&M. They have had a couple of good victories this year, and Miami's number 2. The American Conference is loaded. And my old team, Georgia Tech, still pumping out wins. They're sitting at 3, and Oregon at 4. So 1, 2, 3 teams, actually 4 teams of the top 5 are from the American Conference. So it is a tough conference. It is that, and I really enjoy my time there. But we got West Virginia, the only another ACC team that we lost to. At number 6, we got Ohio State 7, Ole Miss 8, Virginia Tech 9. Virginia Tech's in the SEC now. In my dynasty, they're no longer in the ACC. They're 9, and Clemson is 10. So you got a 9-10 matchup this week of former ACC teams. That should be a fun one. And this is going to round out the top 10. There's some good games this week. You got LSU and Texas A&M, number 1 versus number 13. That should be a fun one. So you got a couple of good games in the top 25. Alabama coming in at 18. They're not the Alabama of today in real life, but they're coming in at 18. You got Notre Dame and Wisconsin, 2 American teams. Wisconsin's in the American Conference in my dynasty. Yeah, it's going to be a pretty good weekend. TCU has had a pretty tough schedule. They lost in overtime to LSU. So they're sitting at 1-2. They lost Texas A&M too, so they've got 2 straight losses. They're probably one of the better 2-loss teams in the country. And then we come in at 23, sitting in at 2-1 with our only loss to West Virginia. So yeah, that rounds out the top 25 with another American team finishing at 25. So we're just gonna take a look at some stats, man. I'm really proud of my guys in this one. Sadir's mentioned 2nd in the country in passing yards. That's pretty crazy. Needs to get up that completion percentage. Could be a lot better, but he's 2nd in the country in passing. He's also 2nd in the country in rushing right now. Be mindful though, we have played one more game than some of the other teams because we did have a week 0 matchup. So it's a little bit inflated, but it'll eventually catch up to everybody else. Right now, Jamal Reed's 3rd in the country in receiving, and Untitled is 1st in solo tackles, which I don't understand. I made a mistake there, but and this is crazy, but it's very O'Born. My nose guard is sixth in the country in sacks. So we've got some talent, man. We've got some talent. We've got a ton of turnovers. Like, I know we lead the country by far in takeaways. We just got to get better in the run game and then situational defense. But nonetheless, here we go. We got Virginia. Hope you guys enjoy the game. If you do, like and subscribe and just continue to follow my videos. I appreciate you. So, yeah, enjoy the game. Go Mouth Gamer. We're out.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to one of our favorite spots, venerable Soldier Field in Chicago. Just a short time ago, this crowd loud enough to shake the foundations of this nearly century-old building. They are ready for football indeed in Chicago as their guys get set to do battle with the New Orleans Saints. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and Charles, kickoff moments away. Quickly, what are you watching in this one?
The offensive line for both teams, because both teams have a terrific pass rush. They've got to keep their passers upright. If they have a chance to do that, they can run the offense and move the ball downfield.
This is taken at his 4. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. And here come the Saints for their opening drive. And they will be led out by their 6'3" quarterback.
And what I enjoy watching this game, we had a chance to watch them in practice, the easy camaraderie that he has with his offense.
A lot of respect.
A lot of respect spilled over to the defense. All the defensive guys were coming over and teasing and joking with him. You can tell they respect the heck out of him and really want to play well for him.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. They'll run with Gillisley. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. That's going to go as a loss of 4. It'll be second down.
That one was over before it could get rolling. How about the D just making it to the backfield and shutting that one down?
Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. On 2nd down, there's the option going left. Oh, he breaks a tackle, and he's got an alley. And he'll be tackled at about the 35. A sizable gain there, 9 yards as they get it back to a 3rd and 5.
Well, if you're going to run the read option, typically, you've got to keep an eye on the defensive end.
And what does that mean? What are you looking for with a defensive end?
Well, you want to play off of what he does. If he collapses inside towards the running back, then you pull it and take it yourself outside in. If he stays outside, you go ahead and leave it with the running back. In this case, pulled it and got good yardage himself.
Bridgewater from the gun on 3rd down. And incomplete. The contact made the ball free and brings up 4th down.
It is tough to complete passes against some defenses. The windows that you see open, they shrink pretty rapidly. How about being able to hit a moving target against a zone before the next guy can get there and make a play on the ball?
Not easy for any quarterback, no matter the situation, and there the defense won the battle. So here are the Bears now for their opening drive. And trotting out there, their tall quarterback's going to get 6'5".
I read something prepping for this game that he said prior to, and I think he really said it a few months ago. They talked about he wants to have the type of season that in the end, he's buying gifts for all the guys who helped him along the way. And I know that the team wants to hold him to that and really get into his wallet. But that's what good leadership gives you. You know, at the end of the season, because you've done a great job, QB, he's usually the guy who springs for the good stuff.
Oh, and now he bowls him over. And give him about 5 as he gets this up to the 48-yard line. And the big boys up front in the trenches, what do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he's going to take this across the 50 and into Saints territory. Call it a gain of 4 there, so it sets up a big play here. 3rd and a yard. And this defensive line will be looking to control the point of attack.
And that's what they've done throughout this season. This is a terrific unit. They play together very, very well, and they don't permit big plays to happen.
A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
Well, that's the big drawback to this play. Even if somehow the quarterback pitches it, he's not immune to the big hit. In this case, he kept it and absorbed it anyway.
Here comes the Saints punter now, as he should be able to pin him back deep here with his first punt.
Offside, defense.
And that one was relatively easy to see. I noticed that from up here.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot, does it? Some get multiples. What I always love on these offsides is when each side points at the other. Hey, you did it. No, you did it. They deciphered that one correctly.
Hurry up, here we go.
Daniel on 1st down. Over the middle, complete. That's Burton. Pick up there, 8 yards on the 1st down.
Yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Here's Daniel now on 2nd down. And he's taken down here by the Saints.
What a nice read and play by the defensive tackle. Never bought the play action fake. Went right for the quarterback and put him on the ground.
The line to gain is the 33 on 3rd down.
Now let's go. 3-19.
Shotgun snap for Daniel. He gets it to Brown, complete. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. First time these two have picked up this afternoon, and it's a 1st down.
They all came together there. In-breaking. Excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Here we go now. Green, 39.
And they'll go with the ground attack here. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Let's go. Green, 39.
On 2nd down now, Turner. And they'll get him down right around the 16. It'll be a pickup of a couple, and it leaves them with a 3rd and 3.
Sometimes you're aligned perfectly and the play comes to you, and sometimes you got to cover some ground to go make the play, as we just saw there.
We saw a great example of perseverance right there on that play.
Got to be careful. They might want to throw one over his head as this game progresses.
Let's go. Blue, landed.
Daniel on 3rd down. He hits White, complete. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. Down, and that sets up a first and goal. Big completion there on 3rd and short. Keeps it over the drive.
Not only alive, but first and goal. And you know me, I'm a big advocate. If you're going to throw the ball, throw it early in the down and distance count.
Here we go now.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown. A great effort there. Taking it in from 4 yards out. And the Bears have taken the early lead. And there you go. At the road to the right. A lot of people sign us. They get
Good blocking. Gets good tackling. And result, touchdown.
Going after try forthcoming. Extra point right down the middle. And it's now a 7-0 game. So now time consuming 10-play drive. And it results in a 4-yard touchdown. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. And now the Saints get set to trot out there. They punted last time they had it. What steps, Charles, you think they have to take to make sure they don't do that again?
Well, let's just go to the football 101, the trade expression 101. Win first down. Make 5, 6, 7 yards on first down. Make it a 2nd and 3, 2nd and manageable. Keep accumulating first downs that way. Keep moving the football. You don't want to get behind the sticks because then the defense has the advantage.
The drive will start with an option going left. And holding it may be the wrong decision as he stopped in the backfield. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 13.
Now that if it's me, I'm cautious about continuing to call this play because you got to know, defenders, if they get a free shot at the QB, they want to take it, and they want to take it big.
And they got it there on the option play for a loss. And he'll lose yardage on this one back to the 13. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down. Never good on a pass completion there to go the wrong way. Lost yardage.
No, for some reason it seems to work better when you throw it downfield and like move the ball downfield, doesn't it? But in this case, if you're the defensive guys, you're energized, executed well, and you caused a lost yardage play. That's going to feel good and look great in film.
3rd and long for Bridgewater. And the pressure will get to him. He goes down. Now there is a flag on the play, but this looks like holding on the offense.
Holding offense.
So instead of giving them another 3rd down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
With it is Brown. Ball out of punt, 54 yards. Well struck. And the Bears take over. The Bears offense now getting ready to take over. They'll be looking to duplicate the efforts at drive number 1, resulting in 7 points and a 7-zip lead.
Well, you know how much I enjoy horse racing, right? Looks like they caught a flyer out of the gate, as they would say when you're running the big-time races. It means they get out to a fast start. They're setting the pace, making the other team chase now.
The Bears in good field position to start out 1st and 10.
Now let's go. 3.
Now they'll run on the draw. And he works works his way forward for about 4 up to the midfield stripe.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
Hurry up, here we go. Green, 39.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And now running right through it. And he's going to take this across the 50 and into Saints territory. It's a 5-yard gain, but they'll still be a yard short here with third down now looming.
Here, but those kind of runs, opportunities for this offense going forward.
The Bears on third down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. They're up against a 3rd-and-1 situation. On 3rd and short, they'll try option left. He may try and run. And now nothing but green ahead of him. Past the 20. And he takes it down deep into enemy territory. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
And that was a nice strong run by the guy they call the field general.
They come out here in the eye.
Blue lining.
They'll try the air now with Daniel. This will be caught at about the 5. He'll get only 2 there, and it's 2nd and goal. And, boy, they had high praise for this rookie receiver.
They certainly did, and obviously they liked his measurables. Otherwise, they wouldn't have brought him onto the team. Height, weight, speed, all of that. But how about what they really said? Competitiveness. That's what they really liked about him. The way he goes after the football, competes for it, and decides when it's in the air, it's his and only his.
Now a 2nd down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Now we got 3rd and goal coming up, and couldn't you imagine being in that huddle, partner? You know they're looking at each other saying, we can't come away with just 3 points after this drive.
Yeah, they've covered a lot of ground. They want more than that 3.
Here we go now. Blue lining.
Cook in the end zone. So no 6 points, incomplete. Now we've got a field goal coming up here for Chicago. This will be just a 21-yard attempt. And this one is right through. And the lead moves to 10-zip. A good drive gets them inside the 5, but they could not punch it in.
And credit the defense, too. Make sure that happens because that's the thing, but don't break the rules. Make sure they contain them when they absolutely have to and force the field goal attempt to run through.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This will be taken in after 1. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. The Saints offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a 1st down and change our momentum?
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
Partner, as a quarterback, sometimes you just got to know when the clock has gone off in your head, it's time to go. Tuck it and get all you can.
Come on, let's go. White lining. White lining.
1st down, Bridgewater. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. Give him 30 yards there.
And let's face it, that what we just saw there, not a surprise, is it? I mean, this is what he does well. And if you don't tackle him as soon as he catches the ball, this is the end result. Big yardage after it.
Got the speed, the agility, so good with run after catch. And we're only in the first quarter, so they better get a wrangle and a hold on that quickly.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And what's really difficult to try and defend him is if you want to press him so that you get him on the ground quickly after the catch, a lot of times he'll just run past you at the initial point of contact, and he'll go deep.
And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee.
Pass interference. Defense.
So the pass incomplete in the end zone, but contact and pass interference.
And now where does the ball get placed?
At the 1-yard line.
1-yard line. They gave up excellent real estate on that one. That's going to work really, really well for the guys who threw it.
They'll try to run it in with Gillisley. And he is in for the score. Touchdown, New Orleans. A great play there. Taking it in from 2 yards out. And the Saints are back within a score. And they're able to run it in. It started with a battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how are we going to slow down this running game, because on that particular play, they had no answer.
Extra point splits the uprights, and that'll cut it to 3 at 10-7. The drive there only spanning 3 plays, and it's culminated by a 2-yard touchdown run. So just a 3-point game now as they send this one away. The Bears offense now heading back out onto the field. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6. Not easily done.
The run game.
Best.
Now Daniel off the bootleg. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. It'll be a pickup of 4, good enough to bring in another first down. We've seen quite a bit of a short passing game early on first quarter, haven't we?
Ways for this team, because number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn it into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
And they'll run it here. And he'll get this up to about the 38-yard
Trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
On second down, here's Daniel. This will be caught by Brown. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. His first catch for 14 there and a first down.
He gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
Here we go now.
A first down throw for Daniel. Over the middle, and it's incomplete.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. To throw again, Daniel. He's going deep for Brown. That's caught inside the 20. Touchdown!
Likely running shorter routes to draw the attention closer to the line of scrimmage, to give him a chance to get downfield and turn it into a one-on-one route, often against the safety. You like your odds, but he's running against the safety. His speed usually wins, and it did on that play.
Still got 6 plays, 7. This fielded at the 2. And a good return. He's across the 35-yard line, right around the 36. Now the Saints offense, they get ready to go back to work here. I guess they have to feel a little gratified to at least get on the board last time, but still work to do.
No doubt about it. I wonder now if they're going to try to increase the urgency a little bit, maybe pump up the pace, maybe go 2-minute. Who knows? Let's see what they decide to do.
And he's across the 40, 3 extra yards to the 43. A solid run on first down, gain of 7, leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early, because they will pay dividends as the game progresses.
And they're not going to get a playoff here as time will expire on this first quarter. 17-7 our score. And we're back to Soldier Field after this. 2nd and short yardage to start things out.
Here we go. What? 90. What? 90.
They go play action. Bridgewater. Going to throw right side here. Complete. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains. And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff, didn't they?
When we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, they like his work ethic. This guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time. Really honing his game. They expect a pretty good jump out of him as things continue to move on.
Flex round. Flex round.
This is Gillisley. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Let's talk about football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing football downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8.
Ohio. Here we go. Grand 38. Grand 38.
Play fake. Bridgewater. He's going to float this one deep right side. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about.
Pass interference. Defense.
A little too aggressive defensively, and the flag comes out.
And no one trying to cover is going to like a call going against them, but you have to like the effort there. Went for the interception, just unable to get it, and the flag did come out.
1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. From the gun, Bridgewater. And he's got it. Touchdown, Saints. In for the score. And the Saints have cut it back within a score.
We see this route all the time, but when it's well executed, it's a beauty.
And it feels like the fade takes forever to develop, like that ball is just hanging in the air.
And the reason why is that the receiver is trying his best to work the defender inside and give himself space to fade away from him and catch the football, and that's exactly what happened there.
The call is to go for 1 and kick the extra point. Point after, right down the middle. And the lead's down to a field goal at 17-14. A drive there of just 4 plays. And it all culminates in a Saints touchdown. So just a 3-point game now as they send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Now out comes their leader and the captain of this offense back on the field. He's played a pretty clean first half, a touchdown, no interception.
Exactly, that's what they expect out of him. They want to see the ball thrown and thrown well. He's able to do that, put it in the end zone. They'd love to see more of that before this game finishes. But right now, he's got his team in a good spot.
A good spot, maybe looking for touchdown pass number 2 here in the second quarter. So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
Hurry up, here we go. Green.
They'll start by running the option to the right. And he probably should have given that one off as he's going to get hit and taken down behind the line.
Well, they have had success when he keeps the ball in the option, but not there. I mean, you just saw exactly why many old NFL coaches would say, don't use your quarterback in the running game.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Oh, and now he bowls him over. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. And good for 19 and a first down.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense, because a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack. Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Now a play fake here on first down. They'll roll him out right. Give him a couple on the scramble. It's second down.
Yeah, he only gets a few yards on 1st and 10, but he's better off doing that than throwing an incompletion or even worse, an interception.
Hurry up, here we go. Boo, Dynasty.
Throwing on second down. Daniel. Incomplete.
When I watched that play, I thought about what my coaches had told me in the past. The biggest teaching point, get your head around. Locate the football so you can make a play on it while it's in the air. That's exactly what he did there. That was nice.
Set. Green, 39.
Throwing on third down. Daniel. Eluding the pressure right. And he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a first down.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
Daniel now. Quick hitter here. It's complete. And he'll go down at the 28. 7 yards. The pickup on the pitch and catch. That time they hit him out of the slot.
That route takes some fortitude. Because he knows he's going through the briar patch, as I like to call it, right? He's trying to work his way through all that traffic and people wanting to put a little contact on it. Really well done.
Now Daniel finding his safety valve here. That's complete. A gain of 4 that time as the drive continues.
We always talk about how to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. And got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice game.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with the football.
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him.
Maybe anticipating a blitz, and they jumped.
Yeah, and if we saw it, you know that they saw it. The bad guys might have been coming on that play. Had to pick them up, and they jumped.
Once again, Daniel. And the Saints' pressure gets him. Brought down for a sack.
So this has been a lot like a tennis match, hasn't it? Back and forth. Both of these offenses having their way so far. So maybe the question isn't who's going to score the most points in this game. Maybe it's who's going to get some stops.
Yeah, absolutely. And that sack, finally a first step in the right direction for a stop. So second and long, and got to be careful not to fall out of field goal range. And they'll go on the ground. And now running right through it. Touchdown, Chicago. A great effort there. Their second touchdown here in this first half. And the Bears will extend their lead. Now always a good first half when you can hit pay dirt twice.
Just think about halftime. If this is all he gets, he'll just sit there back in the guy.
send this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's able to take the knee against the 25-yard line. The Saints coming out now to take the field. Charles, the way touchdowns have come so fast and furious for both sides of this thing. It's starting to feel a little more like maybe a tennis match in a football game.
Yeah, I like your description there. We're sitting in a nice royal box watching this type of a game. But let's face it, right now, the way it's going back and forth, it's going to come down to who can get a stop.
Here we go. What? London. What? London.
They'll start out here with the option left. And he'll get this one up to the 26. 2 yards the gain on the keeper, and it's second down.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
Bridgewater. Rush coming, and he's taken down.
If I'm an offensive coordinator and I'd see an all-out rush like that, I'd file it away because I'm going to use the aggressiveness against them as this game goes on.
And some secondary help here for the defense in the nickel on 3rd and long.
Here we go. What? London. What? London.
On play action, it's Bridgewater. And this is going to be incomplete.
So it looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
It's the Saints punter now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And this ball is going to be touched down just shy of midfield.
Here we go now.
They go play action here on 1st down. Over the middle here to Brown. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. They got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets him a new set of downs.
There are so many things to watch for when you play defense, and reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? That sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
Hurry up. Here we go. Green 39.
On 1st down, Daniel. And he will be hit from behind and run over. Wow. Well, they go play fake. The problem is nobody was faked out.
And when no one's faked out, what's the end result? Quarterback gets hit.
Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long.
Now let's go. Blue landing. Blue landing.
Out of the gun, Daniel. Throw left side complete. It's Burton. And he'll go down here right around the 24-yard line. A nice pick up there, 19 yards. And they're set up better for 3rd. The Bears on 3rd down. They've converted 4 times out of 6. Not bad. This time they face a 3rd and 2.
Here we go now.
And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. He loses 4, and it brings up 4th. So out comes a field goal team now for the second time here today. He hit his first one, this from 44 yards out now. I don't think this will even, nope, it doesn't even get there. Well short, and this score will stay right where it is.
Everything looked good. Good snap, good hold. Sometimes, though, the ball just doesn't want to go where you want it. And this one winds up no good.
Out is the Saints offense now as they get ready to take over here. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. 2nd and 10 now from the 27.
Come on, let's go!
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he stopped immediately there. As it brings up a 3rd and 10.
No gain on that run, and while the team is down, there's still time to come back and win the football game. If I'm the offensive coordinator, though, I've got to think about moving at a faster pace and maybe opening things up a little bit and throwing it a little bit more.
On 3rd down, Bridgewater. And that is incomplete. Well, they've had a pretty frustrating first half here offensively, and then just continued there with that incompletion.
And definitely frustrating for them, but heartening for the other guys. Those stop troops, they're enjoying things right now because they've made it very difficult for them throughout the half.
Now Brown. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Here he is, the man taking the snaps under center, heading out for the next possession. They've got the lead. He's a big reason why. Looking sharp so far.
And as we travel around the league, we see quarterbacks get it done in a variety of ways. But today's NFL does.
And with a flag down, he goes down. So they're able to sack him. Now the penalty looks like it could be holding. Let's find out.
Holding, offense.
So they will take the sack instead of the penalty.
And it takes another down off the series. But the biggest one of all, do you want to tell the guy who just got the sack that it no longer counts?
No.
No, not at all.
Hurry up, here we go! 3-19! 3-19!
Off play action. Daniel. Rolling to his right. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. A nice job of avoiding the pressure there, scrambling for 11.
It was a definite passing down, but he was able to leak out and pick up some good yardage, even though the coverage was excellent. Maybe it's not exactly how they drew it up, but he still got a big chunk of yardage on 2nd down.
The Bears on 3rd down. They've hit 4 of 7. This is 3rd and 9.
Hurry up, here we go!
From the gun, here's Daniel.
3-19!
He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
Now the Saints, they trot their offense out here. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Looking for more there on 1st down, but this throw downfield incomplete. Those passes out that far wide. Always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is allows the defender to gain some ground, cover the long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10.
Spread 38!
Now Gillisley. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45. A nice job to get 8 there after the incompletion, and now they'll look at a 3rd and 2 coming up.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Come on, let's go. Red 38. Red 38. Flex round. Flex round.
Back to the ground, this time with Ingram. And he brings this up to the 46. Good enough for the first. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains.
That's quite a spot there for his first carry of the game, but obviously they had plenty of faith in him, didn't they?
No question about it. And here, why not go with the fresh legs? Able to push forward, pick up that first. Here's Gillisley. And he's got it across midfield and into Bear territory. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
Partner, especially in the second half. You've got a running back of this size and these dimensions. I can just tell you, attrition does something for the defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
They'll try to throw here now. Bridgewater. Now he's hit, and Bridgewater loses the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Now Bridgewater. Escaping the pressure right. He can run for it, and he will. Able to make something out of nothing there. 17 yards and a first down.
Normally we're talking about a quarterback duel where they're matching each other pass for pass. How about the footwork in this one? Both of these guys running the ball well.
Yeah, they've mixed in the run game. You're exactly right. Now, both coaches might not like how much their quarterbacks have taken off, but another one's hit. Oh, and a bad throw there. It's intercepted. Picked off at the 33. And his crew will take over the football at the 35-yard line.
But this is a defense that can confuse even the best of quarterbacks with his own schemes. And here you've got a linebacker that's going to stay at home and just sit down in that zone. And this one basically comes right to him.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Hurry up, here we go. 3-19. 3-19.
After the interception, here's Daniel. Going right side here, and that's complete. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Solid way to start the drive, 13 yards, picking up the first. This quarterback now, 13 out of 17 throwing the ball. He's got the first down.
Let's go. Green 39. Green.
Shotgun snap for Daniel. Oh, and now he bowls him over. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense, as they'll stop him with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. So we're back in the offense getting set following the call of that timeout. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down.
Set. 3-19.
On 1st and 10, Daniel. Throwing right in, that's complete. Now the Bears going to use the second of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. So the offense took the timeout. Looks like they're ready to go as we get set to resume the action. This quarterback now closing in on a 200-yard first half through the air. It's 1st and 10.
Hurry up, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
From the red zone now, Daniel. And he'll slide down to avoid the tackle. He'll wind up getting 9 after tucking it and running, so it'll leave him with 2nd and a yard.
Well, he's proven real effective running the football. No one open, don't force it. Just get what you can, and that's what he's done very well in this game.
Here we go. Blue line it. Blue line it.
Here's Daniel now on 2nd down. Throwing for his running back, and he's got it complete. And on 3rd and inches, we're going to get a whistle and a timeout, as they'll stop the clock with 12 seconds to go in this first half. The offense on 3rd down tonight, they're at 50%, 4 for 8. They're looking at 3rd and a few inches.
Hurry up, here we go. 3-19.
Operating from the gun, Daniel. Incomplete, and we're down to 8 seconds now. So they won't get a touchdown, but here's a chance to at least get 3 to end the first half. And his kick is indeed good. And that will extend their lead even further. So they've put together a good little drive there, but ultimately stalling out in the red zone.
Yeah, I know a lot of people look at it as a little bit of a negative. They didn't get 6 points out of it, right? Didn't get the touchdown. But that's actually okay. They got 3 points, able to give their defense a little bit of rest, let them settle down over there. So all in all, to me, that's a good drive.
Fielded about a yard deep. So we come upon halftime here at Soldier Field with the Bears out in front. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome.
Set to resume. Here we go with the second half. The Bears holding the lead and ready to receive the kick. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. So here's the Bears offense now as they get set to start this 3rd quarter. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly, because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, you feel like you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still 3rd quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31.
Set. 3-19.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Daniel. And he almost had it defensively. Could have been a game changer there in this second half. Instead, it's 3rd down.
You're down 2 touchdowns. You just know defensively you absolutely have to come up with a big play. That nearly was one right there.
Looked over at the sideline immediately after the drop and just saw the dejection. They felt it. They thought he had it. Unfortunately, couldn't come up with it. From the shotgun on 3rd, Daniel. He hits White, complete. And he will have the first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. Calling a gain of 7 and gets him into a set of downs.
The way that I did, I thought he was trying to get deep.
Yeah, that wasn't the first option.
No, it came off of that guy, the deep guy, and came underneath on the drag, completed it very well.
All right, here we go. 3-19.
On first down, they'll run it on the draw play. And he's going to be stopped up quickly here. Just a yard up to the 39.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Now let's go. Green 39.
On 2nd down, here's Daniel. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook. It's so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
And on the ground they go with the running back. And he's going to be brought down inside the 45 at the 43. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be second down.
That's a strong pickup right there on first down, and as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
All right, here we go. 3-19.
To throw on second down. Daniel. Blitz coming, and down he goes.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
The Bears on third down. They've hit on half of them, 5 for 10. This is 3rd and 8.
Here we go now. Green, 39.
From midfield, here's Daniel. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he showed off a nice juke of the defender before the next wave could bring him down. 6 yards on the pickup, and it'll be 4th down.
Whether you're playing West Coast offense or not, one of the maxims of the West Coast offense is you're either throwing a touchdown or a check down. In other words, look for the big shot, but be smart. I think they did exactly that on that play. They didn't get the first down, but take the ball.
Yeah, being rightly cautious. Now the attention turns to the Saints offense getting ready for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance really to set the tone here in quarter 3.
They can really take charge, can't they? And this is probably how it was drawn up at the half. I think we can go inside the locker room, all right? And I think we can see up.
And no forward progress here. This is going to be a safety. Well, I think you can go ahead and give your punter an assist on that one. Pinned him deep, and the defense comes through with 2 points.
You're exactly right, partner. This was all set up by a great punt, and if the ball goes in the end zone, this never happens. So great call. Give the punt team and the punter some love.
And an alley to run. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. And we have seen a decline in the numbers. Where does the fault lie? Just him? Maybe the guys up front? Combination?
Well, as you and I both know, it's almost always a collective deal. But in this case, I think maybe the offensive line got a little overconfident. They had blocked so well in the first half, picked up on what the defense was doing. I think we've seen an adjustment now that they have not picked up on, and now they're being a little bit overwhelmed.
He'll buy some time right. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down.
Like how they've started the third quarter here. They force a punt on the first drive, and after this sack, it looks like they'll be forcing another one as well.
Absolutely. Maybe got their second win coming out of the locker room. 2nd and 14 as they've got work to do here after the sack.
Hurry up, here we go.
From the gun, Daniel. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down. And Charles, got to like what this defense has been able to do these last couple of plays.
Yeah, they get the sack on first down, then they force the incomplete pass. Now they're just a play away from getting the football right back, but it's a big play. They've got to hold up.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Operating from the gun, Daniel. And now another one thrown incomplete.
Well, we're not playing 3 yards in a cloud of dust football anymore. I kind of get why those old school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football. Because if it's popped up in the air, it almost turns into slow motion. And both sides trying to get to the football, and you're holding your breath wondering whether it's going to go good or bad for your team. I know there's no magnet in the ball, but sometimes for the punt returner, after such a scramble, it sort of feels that way, doesn't it? He has it, he loses it. Somehow the ball finds its way back to him.
Atone for his sin, and you know he's taking a deep sigh of relief right now. Flushed out right. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Give him 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give him a first down.
Man, defensively, that hurts. They got him out of his rhythm. They had him hemmed in, but somehow he was able to tuck it away and get away for a gain.
Play action now. Bridgewater able to fight through one tackle. He's going to look deep down the field. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
I'd love to know what he's saying in the huddle now to his guys up front, because it's been a steady stream of pressure on him this entire game. That time, able to avoid the sack, but he's got to talk to his offensive line and say, guys, just a couple seconds extra, please.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down.
Come on, let's go!
They'll run it now out of the gun. And nowhere really to go there. He'll take this up just shy of midfield. It's a gain of about 3, but it's going to leave him with 3. Still 7 yards to go.
Tough first half, unable to put up the numbers he's used to. Like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
To throw is Bridgewater. Flush to his right. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. You never want to give up a sack. From the O-line's perspective, they hate it for several reasons, especially because they felt like they let little brother down back there in the pocket.
Oh, no doubt. They have a ton of pride, and they go into every job wanting to keep that guy clean. They want that uniform with no grass stains, no dirt, nothing on it, but it's really, really difficult. You're talking about some terrific athletes who are trying to put him on the ground.
Here comes the field general leading his offense back out there for the next possession. He's been pretty solid, pretty consistent, just the one touchdown pass, but I think he's managed the game well, no?
I would agree with you, and that's what you're looking for out of your field leader, making sure that you're playing well and not making any big mistakes. Oftentimes, that's how you're judged. How big a mistake?
And he will not make it back to the line of scrimmage as he's going to be taken down.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
All right, here we go. Blue, line it!
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Daniel. Looking deep downfield. A battle for it, and it's intercepted. Picked off at about the 31. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line.
Well, that's a drive killer right there. Not a really confident throw either. This one was kind of up for grabs, and it's going to come down the hands of the wrong team.
Back out onto the field now comes the New Orleans offense. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's 2nd down.
Now, that was not a bad scramble there on first down. He didn't force it, nor did he throw it away. He was able to take off, and now he made it a very manageable 2nd.
Now he's hit, and Bridgewater loses the football. But fortunately, the Saints were able to hold on to it, so they will indeed keep possession. So it goes as a fumble, but the key thing, not a fumble loss.
Yeah, that stat's big, isn't it? I mean, I remember watching teams play. The ball might be on the ground a number of times during the game, but the other team doesn't get it. That's a huge difference in the ball game. And in this case, they were able to retain possession.
He's going to loft one deep left side here. And he can't quite intercept it. Zone coverage, free safety was there. Couldn't come up with it, and now it's 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There was nothing available there for him.
That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete. So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22.
Here we go now.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get about 3 as he takes this up near the 25.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Forcing incompletion on first down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on second.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going into the quarterback in the expected passing situation.
On third down, Daniel able to get away. But now he's swallowed up and taken down.
Like the footwork back there, I thought he did a pretty good job of evading that first wave of players. Tried to buy a little extra time out of the pocket, but in the end, oh, that was a tough one.
Yeah, winds up getting buried for the loss. Here comes the Bears punter now. Standing about a yard deep in his own end zone. And taken at the 46. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt. And the Saints will have a short field in front of them. They take over here, 1st and 10. And now the Saints get set to trot out there. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut it, all right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But, hey, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
A really nice pickup of 14 yards, and it moves the sticks.
And another thing that makes a comeback route really effective is that oftentimes after you've made the initial move, receivers breaking away from the defensive back, and that makes it a really tough play to defend. A nice chunk of yardage picked up there.
On 1st and 10, Bridgewater. He's going to air one out. So they took a shot on first down, but couldn't connect.
Credit the secondary and credit the defensive game plan. They've been in his hip pocket all game long. They understood coming in that he was a big-time receiver.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Play fake. Bridgewater. He's going to loft one. Deep left. And he's got it. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. As his guys are in for 6. And the Saints make some inroads here to that deficit.
Boy, that route is really tough to cover because if they're running it correctly, you think it's really going to be a slant.
Yeah, well, we talk all the time about how it's tough to execute offensively, but you're saying, don't forget, it's tough to cover for the defense, too.
Yeah, the number one thing that you're taught is to not get caught inside or get beat inside. So you guard that a little bit more. So that gives you a little bit more space to operate outside if you start your move initially inside if you're a receiver.
And now they'll empty the backfield here as they elect to go for 2. They'll throw again. Bridgewater. Try to drop one in, but it's incomplete. Tough there. Good pass. Hit the hands. He just couldn't bring it in.
And every receiver's coach everywhere. Seeing that play, focus, focus, focus. Watch it all the way in and tuck it away.
So the lead is now dwindled to 9 as the kick here is away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Chicago offense coming back out onto the field. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage. The big
Leverage.
guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and get these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive. Give him 9 there.
So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play action there? Freezing the defense just enough to spring the completion.
Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34.
Here we go now. Green 39.
Now they'll run the option to the short side left. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. An excellent run of 22 yards on the keeper and also a first down.
Pretty nice play here with the read option. Read the defensive end, and when he claps down inside, how about the quarterback keeping it, not only getting to the second level, but picking up some really really nice yardage.
Very, very well read. They'll run it now out of the gun. Got some real estate inside the 30. And down to the 27-yard line. Another nice gain, 16 yards in on that first down again.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball, protect this lead, give it to the backs, but keep it on their strength.
That's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. To throw is Daniel. Throwing the out route incomplete. That's White. A gain of 6 there on first. Six yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. Now they'll run on the draw. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains.
Third quarter, and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
All right, here we go. 3-19. 3-19.
And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And effective running here. He'll take it down inside the 10. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Here's Daniel, and he just chucked that one out of bounds, out of everyone's reach. Maybe a wise call not to take a sack in this part of the field. It brings up 3rd down.
The good signal callers would never go back in the huddle and play the blame game because they need those guys to protect him. But on that last one, his offensive line, they lost their leverage very quickly, and that's why they were able to get to him and hit him as he tried to throw the football and force an incompletion.
And this time he's going backwards. So after the no gain on the last attempt, here they get him behind the line.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
And his kick is good. And that will give him a 12-point lead. So 3 field goals that he's hit now. This last one helps him stretch out the lead.
He's been solid, hasn't he? And he lives up to the adage that every offensive coach has ever said to us. We want to end every possession with a kick. Right? For them, it's either extra point, field goal, or at worst, a punt. In this case, it's been 3s.
Out onto the field comes New Orleans.
Let's go. Brad 38.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Holding offense.
So some holding over on the left side of that O-line.
And I know for the guys trying to move those big defensive people, they'd love for them to stay in one spot, but they move around so quick and so fast that sometimes you just have to grab them.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty.
Let's go. 1-9. 1-9.
From the shotgun, it's Bridgewater. Eluding the pressure right. Oh, that was dangerous. Threw it into coverage, almost picked, but instead they'll keep it on 2nd down.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense if that fell harmlessly to the ground. And that would not to be. It's incomplete. So they couldn't hook up as time has now run out on this 3rd quarter of play. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now at Soldier Field. It's the Saints who hold the football, but they're trailing as we begin the 4th quarter of play. The Saints on 3rd down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. This will be 3rd and a mile.
Flex round.
Off the play fake, Bridgewater. He's going to run, but he's got a long way to go. And he's able to get this one all the way past the 30. Nowhere to go downfield, but he's able to get out of bounds and stop the clock here with a first down.
Someone knew exactly where he needed to get to pick up that first down. Now, I'm not so sure about the technique in getting there, but he went for it, and he got it.
Exactly. He knew where he needed to get, because remember, if he slides when that derriere dips, if you will, that play's over.
The derriere dips, I like that one.
Yeah, been working on it for a little bit. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask.
Personal foul, face mask, defense.
Well, when you're leading in the fourth quarter, that's not the penalty you want.
And now your discipline comes into question. Having poise this stage of the game, you can't have those kind of plays.
So the face mask here as they'll start out of harm's way with a 1st and 10. From the gun, Bridgewater shakes up, but in the end, the pressure too great, and he goes down.
It's been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on the roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks getting over this one.
So after the sack here, 2nd and 14.
Come on, let's go.
Out of the gun, Bridgewater. Dancing to his left. Broken tackle. And that one goes incomplete. He's maybe lucky it wasn't a fumble as he got hit as he threw it.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there.
Flex round. Ohio.
3rd and long for Bridgewater. He's going to float this one deep right side. And that'll be incomplete as it's knocked away. But a penalty flag is down. So who's this going to be on?
Pass interference, defense.
And that penalty will move the ball to the 1-yard line.
So difficult to cover a fade route, and you're talking about into the end zone, and sometimes you panic a little as a defender, and the offensive guys are really smart. Sometimes they jump back into you and create the...
And he takes it across and into the end zone. Touchdown, Saints. A great play there. His 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Saints are back within a score. Nice execution there. Good job by the O-line getting him in for the 2nd time.
And you always have to start with credit there when you're having a big game. I mean, you don't get there by yourself. That's rare. But how about the ability to see the proper holes, pick the proper place to go, and find his way into the end zone?
So the drive there took 6 plays, and it ends with a 1-yard touchdown run. A 5-point game now as here comes the kickoff. This is fielded a couple yards deep. Touchdown, Chicago! A great effort there with a return of 102 yards. And the Bears will add on to their lead. A big-time special teams play here in the fourth quarter to extend their lead.
And coaches preaching all the time. If you can score on special teams, your chances of winning the game really jump up in a big way. Qualify it against the certain needs, and that's what coaches talk about all the time. That extra momentum, that extra bounce you get from a special team score. I don't have any analytics for it. Those are your friends.
Out comes the kicking team here for the extra point. The extra point splits the uprights. And gives his guys a 12-point advantage. So he takes it from 2 yards deep all the way down the field into the other end zone. Now they on a 102-yard return on the kickoff. So now the other return teams out there as they'll try to duplicate what they just saw. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And all that work, but he's the Saints offense now. They stay on the ground. This is Gillisley again. And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. A good comeback there after the penalty. 9 yards, and it's 2nd and 6.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there. I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down 4th quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently.
Well, that's pretty symptomatic about how things have gone here. That play was just shut down right from the start.
And not going to give him a lot of confidence to help turn things around. Bridgewater from the gun on 3rd down. Steps away to his left. And this is going to be incomplete.
The frustration is definitely setting in because they've thrown it to him over and over, unable to come up with a catch thus far.
I think he knew he would have his challenges against his secondary. I don't think he saw a goose egg at this point in the game. Bridgewater to throw it. Forced out to his left. He may try and run for this. And he gets it down to the 48, enough for the first. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert their...
But can you just almost feel the relief that's gone through this stadium? He picked up that 1st down. Without it, this game is over.
And when he took off, it was almost like, oh, no, this might be it, but found a way to pick up the first.
Here we go. What?
Now a play fake here on 1st down. Now he's hit, and Bridgewater loses the football. But fortunately, the Saints were able to hold on to it, so they will indeed keep possession. Call it luck or skill, whatever the case is, they're feeling good about just keeping the football there.
Yeah, the biggest thing that they're calling it now, our ball. I mean, they don't care if it was luck or skill. Or the panic that jumps up in your chest when that ball's on the ground. Whether you get it or your teammate gets it, just as long as you retain possession, that's all you're looking for.
It'll be a gain of 9, and they're going to face a 3rd down. The Saints on 3rd down. They're hitting at just 30%, 3 for 10. This is 3rd and 8. Here's Bridgewater. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
Well, it's easy to see when we review this that the ball needs to come out quicker, because if you don't throw it right on the break, you bring a crowd of people into the equation.
And that's why it got knocked away there. Desperation time. 4th down. Bridgewater. And Hill with it over the middle. And he will have a 1st down as they get him to the ground at the 37. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on 4th down. Felt compelled to go for it there on 4th down, trailing in the 4th quarter. They got it done.
And there's always a lot of pressure on a 4th down call. Doesn't matter the distance. You stop to get it done, as you noted, and they did.
Escaping the pressure right. It fights him off, but he can't get away forever, and down he goes. He was trying to keep his eyes downfield. Nobody came open.
He's trying to do everything that he had been taught, right? Every bit of the technique. But if no one's open, there is no technique except make sure you hold on to the ball as you go to the ground when you're getting sacked.
Now following the sack, they'll come up here on a 2nd down and 12. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get 4 here down to the 35-yard line.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice game like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
On 3rd down, Bridgewater. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. And we say it all the time, have to be able to get rid of the ball sooner than that.
You have to help your offensive line out. They're going to protect you as best they can. And if you're getting 3 to 5 seconds to throw the ball, they're doing a really nice job. But when you hold it and give up a sack, you're really almost discrediting their work.
Here we go.
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And no, it's incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And the Bears will get the football back. So they really needed points here in a 2-score game. Could not come away with anything there on 4th.
And while we know they're a little bit discouraged here, they can't check out of this game. You and I have called a good number of games over the course of our career where we've seen these types of situations. Teams get the ball back, and that miracle does occur. So they can't let that dream go just yet. They have to get stout on defense here.
Yeah, right now really hoping for a turnover.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
Throwing again on 2nd down, but this time it's incomplete. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
That would have been a great catch, but it's real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
On 3rd and short, they'll try option left. And he's going to be taken down right at the line.
All right, here we go.
Now they try the right side here. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. On this day, the ground has been his, but at least on that individual play, we just saw the defense finally with a win.
Yeah, they finally got one, and that's a win for them, but all game long, he's seen the holes, and they've been huge for him. Kind of like a baseball hitter in the zone. The ball seems bigger, and he's just whacking it. These guys, they've got it going today.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete. Not to get too overcritical there because he knows what he's doing, but his shoulders looked a little off kilter there when he threw that.
I don't think you're being overly critical there. You're just analyzing it, and he gets those shoulders right. That pass will go from incomplete to complete.
And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well. Here comes the Bears punter now as he's on for the 5th time here today. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. They had a great drive going last time. They were moving the ball, and then all of a sudden it just stalled out. So we'll see what they can do here, Charles.
And it's always easy to second guess when you don't get it on a 4th down try. But they had to like the feeling that they had going on offense. They want to continue to see if they can capture that again on this drive and maybe get in the same position.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, like I said, they were moving the football. It's not like they went for it. That's caught at the 25. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. A big play there. Taking it in. And the Saints have cut it back within a score.
No, we're not cheering. No, we're not rooting. But I am excited about this, and I know you are too. We got a ball game again after that big-time strike.
Big-time strike, and you are right. Don't go anywhere yet. This thing's not done. Now the extra point try forthcoming. Point after, right down the middle. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter. Those are the ones the offensive coordinators dream about. One-play drives from that distance. What an effort. It results in the touchdown. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Bears offense now gets set to head back onto the field. Certainly want to avoid what they had to do last possession, and that was punt the football, because this game's starting to tighten up.
In a basketball sense, you think about taking a little bit of the air out of the ball, right? Maybe milk some clock, limit the possessions. In this case, they might want to do the same thing, but control the game offensively. Put together some first downs, put together a drive, and keep it away from them.
And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. And no matter what the situation, the O-line just hates that because they feel like they didn't protect little brother back there, right?
Man, that's just so difficult for them because just think about every single play. When you decide to throw the football, you're dealing with some of the best athletes on the planet. You talk about guys, if they weren't playing football, they'd be starring in the NBA at power forward. It's really a difficult task.
And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. It'll be a 3-yard gain, and that'll make it third down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field.
And he's taken down here by the Saints.
How about that? One of the so-called little guys putting the pressure on. That was a strong safety. When I was in college, we often called that a lightning blitz.
Take it at the 37.
Illegal block in the back. Return team.
So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. So the special teams penalty cost some yardage. First and 10.
Come on, let's go.
First down, Bridgewater. Over the middle, it's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing it.
Bridgewater on first down. Buying time to his left. And a flag comes in as that one falls incomplete. Well, let's see who this is on.
Illegal forward pass. Offense.
So they say no to the penalty. The incompletion stands. It'll be second and 10.
And what they want to do is go ahead and take those downs away from them. You never want to give extra snaps to any offense. That's how you get hurt.
After the incomplete pass, here now is second and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to get this one down near the 45-yard line. Only a yard on the pickup there, so it leaves him needing a conversion here on third and a tough 9. One of the bigger plays in the game thus far. The crowd getting into it as we come up on a big third down. Now Bridgewater being chased out left. A bullet throw, but incomplete.
I think he's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. One score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on fourth down.
Here we go. White 90. White 90. Flex round. Flex round.
Got to try it here. He's back to throw. He can run for it, and he will. The Saints' decision to go for it backfires. And the Bears will get the football back. So the failure to convert, no doubt, really hurts. But this one's not over. A good chunk of time on the clock and the timeouts.
Yeah, not only do they have the timeouts, as you just noted, they're going to get an extra one with the 2-minute warning. And that's going to help in big way. So in a sense, they have 4 timeouts in their pocket. The big thing, stopping them on defense now. They can't let them get a first down and make them use their timeouts and get a fresh set of downs. They've got to stop them right here. If so, they've still got an opportunity.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. So So the defense had a chance to catch their breath, and now they're back out and ready. One of the bigger plays in the game thus far. The crowd getting into it as we come up on a big third down.
Here we go now. Blue landing. Blue landing.
Out of the gun, Daniel. And that is incomplete.
So it looked like maybe his third or his fourth read on his progression. Just trying to find his outlet man that time. Ends up leading him just a bit too much.
This is fielded at the 7. A 46-yard boot, but just 36 following a pretty decent return of 10 yards. And we have reached the 2-minute warning. Now the Saints offense, they get ready to go back to work here. And this offense last time turned it over, went for it on fourth, didn't get it. They're lucky, though, because no points against the team on the board, but we'll see how they respond.
Yeah, they've got to give a lot of credit to their defensive teammates, don't they? They had their backs on that last series, and because they did so, that allows the coach to still stay aggressive on offense and maybe go for it again in a similar situation.
I was going to say maybe makes that offense feel good, but when you know you've got a defense making stands like that.
Yeah, that'll loosen up things a little bit, won't it? Maybe you'll play a little bit better the next time you have the ball.
They'll look to throw. Completes this one to Meredith. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. And that one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Back to throw. Stepping up, he'll try and run. And he'll avoid the tackle there with a slide. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first.
How many times have we seen this late in the fourth quarter? Because you know the pass rush is getting after him, and they get upfield, get that great push, and what do they create? Space, and he takes off.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get this down to about the 30, 31-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
I like the call there because that was one to take time off the clock and get them closer to getting out of here with a W. In the mind of the play caller, all you want to hear is tick, tick, tick.
Let's go. What? 90. What? 90. Flex round. Flex round.
He's back to throw. Dancing to his left. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Opted to run for it. The decision a good one. Picking up the first, getting 14 yards on the scramble.
All right, partner, I'm a defender, but I've got to express my admiration there. Moving around, making it happen, and instead of worried about protecting himself, he goes and gets the first down. I've got to give it to him.
And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. And for the second down of play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout. As the clock will stop with 34 seconds to go in the game. And we're back. The offense had a chance to talk things over. We'll see what they come up with here on this next play. Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16.
Here we go. Brand 38. Brand 38. Ohio. Ohio.
Back to throw. Flush to his right. That's out to Hill. Right side complete. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. The reception good for 7. It's third down. He'll look to throw. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. One last shot now for Bridgewater. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert. And they